A book, very revolutionary. A book that criticizes the adult mind. A book that you cannot tell if it's a fairy tale, some sort of philosophical morally tale, or something else altogether. Hello fellow BookQuesters, it is I, Aaron the BookQuester. Today I have this great book, The Little Prince, by the French name that I can't pronounce. So, today I am here with this great book, The Little Prince. So, let's get right on to it. It's gonna be short because I want to do something else, something special, something different at the end of today's video. So, watch on. Basically, The Little Prince is a book where a character named the Pilot thinks that adults are kind of weird. For example, as in the book, not quote for quote, but something like this. The pilot says, if you say, for example, there's a really nice house, if you describe the house, like it has red tile windows or beautiful plants at the windows or something like that, the adults will just nod their heads. But if you said that they saw a house that was worth $25,000, then the adults would say, that is a nice house. And it kind of criticized the adult mind, and the pilot really did criticize that mind. And he thought that that level of talking about politicians, about ties, about sports, that was low. They would bring it down to, he said, if they didn't understand what he was saying, he would bring it down to their level. So that's just low level stuff right there. It's just stuck in a metal box kind of thinking. And then the pilot, one day, while he was, piloting his plane, he crashes down in the Sahara and meets a funny little character named the Little Prince. He is from a different star, and he doesn't understand the grown-ups. Grown-ups are weird. And these grown-ups are they're a best. And the Little Prince, while traveling to Earth, goes to several different stars. And in those stars, he meets adults. Various adults. Several adults, some adults that I remember are, for one, a geologist. A geologist who does nothing but sit at his desk and wait for explorers to come and describe the places they had seen. No, the geologist doesn't go around and try to see it, and he doesn't try to do it himself. He just waits at his desk, doing something like this, doing something like this. What the heck? What are you supposed to do? And yeah, the geologist just sits there, and there's the businessman who counts the stars, and he says that since he was the first one who found the star, he was gonna own it. What would you do with a star except look at it? What's the point of owning a star and writing the name of the stars down and the number of the stars down and putting it in your vault? What is the point of that? And he cares about nothing else except counting the stars and thinking himself he was rich. And there was a king who said that he commanded the stars and everything in the world, and yet was alone on his little star. And it's just, these adults are ridiculous. They're obsessed with one thing, and they don't care about anything else. And yeah, this story, as I have aforementioned, is bordering between a fairy tale, some sort of philosophical tale. Like, seriously, the adult's mind is all money. It's like, I just read this book, Shoe Dog, and when I read it, it's like the adult world is just about money. If you don't have money, you won't survive, your company won't survive, whatever. And that is the kind of thinking that this book seems to really criticize and hate. Like, yeah, you have to think. You have to bring it down to their level. And yeah, that is The Little Prince. So yeah, that was a really short summary. And it's basically about the pilot realizing and remembering his old days when he was a child, when he thought that adults were ridiculous and they wasted their time in arithmetic and grammar and all that. and he remembered, and he understood, and when he looked at the stars, he would remember the little prince who went back to his own star. It talks about a lot of concepts that I can't possibly all list, but let's get right on to something else. So a couple days ago, this site named SmileUp contacted me and my channel. They said that they wanted me to participate in their question challenge about the Little Prince. Basically, you're supposed to make a couple questions about the Little Prince and etc.
Okay.
So let's get right on to the question challenge. So today I am here with a face cam on my MacBook to participate in the question challenge. Now, the question challenge starts tomorrow, so I'll probably record typing in the question tomorrow. And today I'm kind of here to discuss what I'm going to put on that question challenge on SmileUp, which is this site. And it's this site where you can share ideas and ask questions. And there's this question challenge thing that I want to participate in, because why the heck not? So there are currently 4 questions that I am currently thinking of doing. Now, these 4 questions are all made by me. It's totally original, okay? So first of all, if you were the pilot in the book, The Little Prince, what would be your first thoughts when you meet the Little Prince? Now, let's discuss this. It's a little bit of a shallow question. It's on the shallow end. It's not that deep. But yeah, we'll work on this one first. So, if you were a pilot of a plane, and then you crashed down into the Sahara and met a little kid-looking little guy called the Little Prince who said that he came from a different star, what would you think? Like, legitimately. I mean, this book has a fairy tale edge to it, so we get like that where the characters kind of easily believe and accept what's going on. And for me, I would say that kid needs some help. He's not mentally okay because, he came from another star and what? That doesn't make any sense. But then, that is what the Little Prince despises the most. The book despises the most. It despises that cold logic and thinking that something is not possible and having no interest in things except politics, sports, and whatnot. And those things that you definitely should be ashamed of. And yeah, that's basically pretty much it. That's basically the answer to that question, what would I think? But then some people might say, I might take him to the doctor, or I would believe him and go on an adventure with him or something like that. I don't know. But I think that it would be kind of rare for an adult like the pilot to think that the Little Prince was, the Little Prince. Now, in the second thing, why did the author, who is an adult himself, criticize the adult mind? Now, as I aforementioned when I was actually reviewing the book, which was kind of shorter than normal, by the way, I said that the Little Prince kind of criticizes the way of adult thinking, which is, in a way, for example, thinking it's all about the money. If something is expensive, it's good. Something ridiculous like that, and that doesn't make any sense, does it? And that, sadly, is the adult life, because it all depends on the money. How expensive of a car you would buy, how expensive of a house you would rent. It all depends on the money and how they get the money, so it's just all about the money. So, but the Little Prince kind of criticizes that and think about things that actually matter, like friendship or imagination or fun facts, like in the science world. And that, I believe, is the true message of the Little Prince. Why, though, would the author do that? I believe that the author himself thought that the adults who really just think about the money, it's all about the money, they're wrong. I think that's what he thought. Because, I would say that the Little Prince, the person who wrote the Little Prince, the name that I cannot pronounce, I think that he was mostly thinking about how people around him will just care about the money. But to him, money is just a thing that he needs to survive. It isn't life. It isn't what you're trying to live up to. And I think that's what he thought, and I think that is why he criticized that mind, because people just don't care. All they think is about the numbers and about the money and all the boring stuff. They forget about things that truly matter. Now, question 3 is kind of hard even for me because I wrote the question. Is being a child pure and being an adult impure? Now, there's a lot of debate around this, but I'm just gonna lay it out for you. So in The Little Prince, children have the truly pure mind, and their imagination isn't dead. They don't care about useless things like arithmetic and grammar, and they're pure. But adults, meanwhile, they only care about the money and the numbers, as aforementioned. Now, but the pilot is a pure exception, and an example that I will push through with. Because the pilot understands how children feel and understands the creativity, and he's not consumed by the desire for wealth and money, like quite a lot of adults, or just clinges onto it like it's the only way of survival. Now the pilot is the pure exception, and I believe the pilot kind of shows the author, because the author's an adult for sure, but he still doesn't think like a normal adult does, and he still thinks and has the creativity of a child. So I think that that's not right. It just depends on the person. A child might just think about the money and the wealth and how rich he could be, and that child will be impure in the context of The Little Prince. But an adult, and on the other hand, who actually thinks about those things and is super creative and tries not to get completely consumed by money, is technically pure. So I think that it just depends on the person and the personality, and how, if in the example of the child, they are brought up. And that's my answer to that question. And 4, what does it mean to be cared for? What does not or does count as caring? Now, this is the point where in The Little Prince has this little flower, a rose, the only rose that ever grew on his little star, which basically means that he really cared for it and he loved it, and he talked with the flower because flowers talk in this book, and he put a glass dome over it to keep the flower warm, pulled water around it, everything. He did everything to take care of the flower. And yeah, so basically that's what I think. Like, that's the example. 말해.
있지, 예준아. 그래서 예준이가 내가 이걸 재밌겠다고 생각해서 이걸 참여하게 된 거는 나는 이렇게 생각하는데 내가 생각하는 질문에 다른 사람들은 또 어떤 생각을 가질 수 있는지가 되게 궁금하다, 이런 얘기를 좀 해서 마무리를 해줘, 예준아. 왜냐면 그게 이거의
나 마지막 퀘스천 끝내고.
그러니까 퀘스천에 대한
나 지금 아직 리코드 하고 있어, 참고로.
챌린지.
그냥 자를 거야. So basically, it's the question about what amounts to caring. Is putting water to a plant really caring, or is putting a glass dome to keep the flower warm caring? Is that putting water? That's easy. Is that really counts as caring? Well, for me, I think that it's another level of caring. I think there are levels to caring, yes. So basically, for example, if it's a level 1 amount of caring, you just give the plant water every week, but you don't really do anything else. Level 2 of caring, maybe you put the plant in a really nice place where there's a lot of sunshine and lots of space for the plant. And maybe 3rd, like in the case of The Little Prince, like the 3rd level of caring, you put a glass dome right over here over your flower. And I think that it doesn't mean to not count as caring. I think it counts as caring, but I think there are different levels to it. So I answered that 4 questions. And yeah, that's what I think about my questions. But I'm really excited to see what other people think of in in the Smile Up because there's a lot of people in here, and I want to know what other people would answer the question by. Because because I only thought about it one way, and different people will think about it in different ways. So that is why I'm super excited by it. I'll actually post it a couple minutes later for you guys, of course. And yeah, cut to the next scene, which is me typing in the question. Goodbye. Well, see you in 20. It has been a couple days since I made these questions and filmed that. Well, now the time has finally come. The question challenge itself has begun. The Little Prince comes from a planet known as B612. What is the name of your planet? And that is another one that really interests me, because it's like asking you, what is your deepest home? What is home to you? What is inside your mind, inside of your knowledge? What is your home? What truly is your home? And I think that's what this question is asking. And many people will struggle to answer this question. So I think that it is an extremely good question. And etc. But I want to post my question. So if I move the face cam down over here, where is it? It's like plus. So my face cam cut off, then my recording just cut off. So we'll continue up from the time where we totally absolutely failed. So what we're doing here is we're actually participating in the question challenge, and we are typing in our question. And my question will honestly, I want to say, is it being a child pure and being an adult impure? I've just explained what I think is the answer to this, but I want to know what other people really think about this question. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going with, and I really like it. This book seems to question this, and I want to know who else questions it. Yeah, I want to know the various answers. So that's it. Proofread. I really didn't need to do that because for errors. Seems to question this. Is this literally gonna tell me to do a comma? Because I swear. I don't care. Yep, dismiss. No, this is literally so wrong. This book seems to question this, and I want to know who else questions it. That is grammatically correct, my friends. This is tripping. They need to fix that. And yeah, I did hashtag question challenge, hashtag the Little Prince. That's how you enter the question challenge. And I will click submit. And you have to enter the subject apparently. So subject tag, it's creative writing. Let's submit it, and it has been submitted. So I've pretty much done it, and now I want to answer a couple questions. So I want one answer here. So the Little Prince is from a planet called B612. What is the name of your planet / star? So I want to answer that my planet is the Little Prince's planet is called B612. My planet will be A8, 9, 10. I think. These are not random numbers, guys. 8, 9, and 10 has always been my lucky numbers, and 89 especially was my randomized number for my emails. So that's what I'm going with, and I really like it. So because these numbers remind me of better times when I was in, for example, when I was in Japan, when I was going to St. Mary's International School, that kind of thing. And yeah, that really reminds me of those better times when I was in elementary school, I guess I could say it. Elementary school, and it reminds me of all the experiences and fun and friends that I had. I know that I am aware that it's a run-on sentence, but I don't care because I'm savage. Okay, let's do that. And yeah, I've answered another question. I think I'm gonna actually try to do that again because I just really want to. Because I could click on Google Docs. There are several things I'm working on right now, including essay competitions, etc. Okay, so the Little Prince questions. What does it mean to care for? What does not or does count as caring? Yeah, because that's kind of what I wanted to know. Because is, for example, as I probably just mentioned, is watering the rose counts as caring? Does putting the rose in a little glass thing to protect it from the elements caring? That's something I really wanted to know. So I'm gonna click plus. Okay. And I will go under there and I'll set test and I will create writing. Hashtag question sign, hashtag the Little Prince, and I will write what. Okay, I kind of forget. So it's what does it mean to care for? Does it mean to care for? What counts and does excuse me, and does not count as caring? Okay, so I think that is pretty much it, and I will do that, and I will submit that question too, and I think I'm done. So I honestly think that the more you read The Little Prince again and again, I think that you will pretty much find something new every singular time. But I think that it is definitely worth doing that, and I really love the book and the hidden messages and all these questions that single thing triggered. And I think that all of you should try to do it as soon as possible because it is ending very soon. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, okay. And guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching. And like always, your BookQuester, Aaron the BookQuester. As usual, guys, have a great day. Read a book and participate in the question challenge if you could. Bye.